Welcome to Construction Champions Podcast, where we are burning the house down and rebuilding it twice a week. I'm your host, Nussbaum, and I am here to help you become the champion that you're meant to be. Along with our amazing guests along the way, we will provide you with the resources, the latest and greatest. You will sit down with disruptors in the construction industry. And my goal from day one has always been to change the mindset around the construction industry. No more where we let the 3% of bad apes dictate the entire reputation of. All right, construction champions, welcome back to another amazing episode. I'm your host, Nussbaum. I'm the founder and CEO of BuilderComs. I'm also a Marine Corps veteran, and I'm the facilitator of these conversations. My goal from day one with Construction Champions is to bring in people from throughout the industry that's work, serve, influence, lead the construction industry, and we have a conversation around what does it take to be a champion? We have real raw conversations like you're not hearing anywhere else. And that's what I get to do. And you guys could really care less about me as the host. What you're here for is our amazing guests. And today is no different. Bob, it is fantastic to have you here with us today.
Hey, Ron, thanks for having me on your show.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm excited for our conversation today. But before I dive into it, why don't you introduce yourself to all the construction champions out there?
Great. Thanks, Ron. My name is Bob Clark. I'm the owner of a digital marketing agency called Contractors Partner. We focus on digital marketing specifically only for contractors or people in the trades, whether you're a plumbing company, electrical company, a home builder, a general contractor. That's who we serve. So we do their website design, we host it, we do SEO. We do Google Business Profile. We run paid ads for our clients. We have products that are all three or just one or individual. But yeah, we specialize in contractors.
Awesome, man. Sounds like you meet them where they're at and then you help them as they grow. I always love when I have marketing SEO companies on here because this is an ever-changing word. Like the conversation, I could interview you today and next week, and we could have two completely different conversations because it's an ever-growing area where stuff's always changing for sure. Awesome. I'm going to dive right in there and I'm going to ask you the $1 million question. And that is, what makes a construction champion?
Well, for us, it's providing a service for other contractors. And to put a spin on it, Ron, like I grew up in the family of home builders. My grandfather built homes. I built homes, third generation. I built them in my early 20s before the crash in '08. So I have experience with the whole trades. And that's what made us a champion for contractors. We were able to integrate that in the copy, everything we do for our clients, which really in return relates to the customer and Google, which is really important because you kind of hit it on the head. You said like things are changing, like right now with AI, things are really changing and quickly. But
Yeah, that is true. So I have to ask, third generation home builder, what was the moment where you decided I am going to go help the industry instead of work in it?
well, I guess I didn't really have a choice. So in '08, when it all fell out there, I was building spec homes and I owned a framing company, and the few other builders that I was framing for, they went through the '80s. They were older guys and been in the game. So they did the '80s, late '80s, early '90s. And so they were able to ride it out. Well, I wasn't. I got stuck with quite a few specs and it changed my trajectory. So I probably never would have been in digital marketing, but I love it now. So after that, I started another business, kind of a side thing after the crash. And I was trying to figure out how am I going to market my business. And that's when I learned SEO, and that's kind of the rabbit hole. And that was back in 2009 is when I really learned SEO, and that the gamification of trying to get Google to rank my business. So that even escalated, Ron, to like I had like recipe websites that got huge amounts of traffic with like 150,000 views a month and made money off their ads, and was just always trying to get on the number one in Google. So
Mm.
yeah,
So you found a new love and then brought it back to your first love, it sounds like.
yeah, I want to niche down, and I'm like, who better than contractors? Because I do the game. So
Mm.
yeah,
It's so true, and it's a very it's it's an amazing market because it's very confusing, it's ever changing, and there's so much noise around it.
true. And there's all kinds, right? There's all kinds of businesses, contractors, um, some that understand that they need marketing, some that don't. Um, yeah, it's fun, but it's always it seems like a good group of people. That's what I.
There's no better, I believe, coming from the industry into software now. I believe there's no better industry to do business with. It's not an easy industry to do business in, but once you're in there, there's no better industry to operate in.
I would agree. By
So
far.
I know all of our listeners, you already, you had to broach the subject of AI and SEO. So I know our listeners are wanting, like, what is happening out there right now? Like, what are you seeing since you live in this word?
So I'd say, there's huge opportunity for a business to be using AI, leveraging it as a tool, which I do every day. Whether it's Claude or OpenAI, ChatGPT, or whatever your choice is for a language model. Um, when it comes to the marketing side, um, a lot of search is still done in Google, and it always has been. And that's why I love the SEO, because once you got there and got to number one, it usually was a constant flow of traffic for your business for years and years and years. Well, that's actually changing. I share a little bit on my YouTube channel. The Google search is changing. So now there's an opportunity, whereas AI overview, and once a person clicks that, whether on their phone or on Chrome on their desktop, now the search completely changes, and you're asking the AI, and the AI is going to populate what it thinks and not what it would always showed up. So that's probably, one of the biggest things that has changed. It's an option now. It's the first option, but I really feel that it's going to turn into the only option.
Mm.
Um, and if you're not typically the bigger companies and websites, or who has a better brand or presence, ends up in those overviews. So unless you're winning on Google Maps, in search, possible paid, is a good chance now that you won't end up being shown in an overview. And if you're a business like a plumber or electrician, and you've been running ads and or SEO for years, or relying on Google Business Profile, if the AI overview doesn't choose you, it could be devastating for your business coming up. So yeah, it's really going quick, Ron, and I'm not exactly sure where Google will end up, but that's what's like it's where it's going. So
Well, no, I would agree with that, just from what I'm seeing. And the fact, you know what, one of the big realizations for me with AI wasn't like how powerful, and like I use it, do all kinds of stuff with it. But when my wife started using her Chat GPT account to do all her search instead of going to search engines, and I asked her why, and she said, well, just because it tells me, like, it doesn't give me a bunch of websites. It actually tells me information and gives me websites. So I believe that is where search is headed, even on Google and everything. How how do businesses not combat it? Combat's a bad word, because we're not trying to combat it. We're trying to win at it. Like you said earlier, like this has always been for you, is how do you win? How do you get to that number one spot? What are you seeing out there? Is that even possible?
Yeah, 100%. So a lot of the clients we have that we've been doing the right things for a while, they're showing up naturally in the overview, which is good. Like even in they show up in the map section. I don't know how many your viewers know about that, but when you do a search on Google, there's a map section, and it used to be 10 there, and then it went to 7, then it went to 3. Um, those review sections used to be a huge traffic source, and what happens now with Google, that AI overview, if it lists you as one of the top and someone clicks on it, it will bring up the map section. So there is still some of that there. To answer your question, Ron, to how to win at it is you're going to need a strategy and someone that actually knows that's been in it. And one of the biggest ways that there are some cheats like with SEO, like that's always been kind of SEO, like how do you game the system? Like back in the day, you used to like hide keywords on a website to help it rank, but that's long gone. But there are some opportunities to still not persuade Google to show your stuff. So that I don't think will ever go away. But I think to answer your question is to build a brand, you got to have, if you can have video, you can have audio, you can have a good presence on Google and social medias. And where Google sees it everywhere, not just a business that has a Facebook page or another social media, you're really going to need all of those for it to show in search.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing is like the fundamentals are staying the same. It's just where because like that search, the AI, what they're doing is they're just searching Google or they're searching whatever search engines. Like they're online trying to find the information. And it's the same thing that makes people great on Google is you have content everywhere. It's you got a brand. AI is trying to do the exact it's doing the same search, and that's what will create. So it's not like going out and doing anything. It's just doubling down on what has worked and continue to build a brand, continue to put out content.
100%.
What
Yeah, it's like, sorry,
can
no.
continue, man?
Yeah, those language models, they do scrape data, whether it's Google and all kinds of things now. Like you'd be shocked where it's getting all the data. Um, but it is the query is changed, if this makes sense. And one benefit of being creating all kinds of content, because now it can listen to video and it'll transcribe it. It takes all that information. So it used to be you gave it a keyword. Say you were, you know, best plumber in Boston, right? Well, that doesn't work anymore because people are going to use an AI, and they get like a lot more comfortable with an AI where they chat with it. And the query or the question is not like plumber in Boston. It's like my my kitchen sink is leaking and it's got, it's one of those newer ones and I can't get the faucet and it's this certain brand and blah, blah, blah. And now the AI, that language model is looking at all kinds of things and it's thinking on its own to give an answer to that query. So yeah, I mean, dude, it's going fast. It's pretty interesting.
Well, you all right, because I think that's one of the things like for my wife, where it's no longer searching I need a plumber or I have a plumbing issue. Like the search is like, here's what's happening. How do I fix this? Or and who can fix this? Like we're a lot more because it is more conversational. We don't look at it as a search as much as it is I'm trying to fix this or I need somebody to fix this. So we do get a lot more detailed.
Yeah, then the AI is like, well, they picked up whether, that you had a Kohler sink. So if you're creating content that doesn't represent Kohler brand or American Standard and it doesn't show up and if you might not show up. I mean, it's getting that good. Like,
Hmm.
yeah. So the more content. the better brand on most of the platforms is going to help you um, win with getting leads in this next, like, it's really fast. So, um, whatever, like your wife, you saying she uses OpenAI or ChatGPT, that's changing too quickly because Google is showing they'll cite citations and links to different areas. So you can get that within chat now too. So it's not just an answer. It'll search the internet and give you, same as Claude and some other models, but I don't know. It's going quick.
Now, do you think like the tried and I know for SEO, like blogs are absolutely amazing. I think with what like how you were just describing some of that, like blogs is one of the things that will help you continue to come up because you can use certain products, certain techniques that allows you to position your brand as the expert around that.
Yeah, 100%. Like, so a lot of it goes into it, your domain and how long it's been around, your company and how long it's been around, how much content you put on your website. So yes, I mean, blogs are still a thing. New, relevant content on your website is still a thing because those language models are still scraping, looking for more. But also the game has changed. So you can add a certain content on your website that's going to help you rank in the language models in those AI overviews, just like it used to when someone did a basic search just to get you in that number one position. But Ron, people are still using regular Google and not clicking the AI mode. Could be years, it could be a couple weeks. And a lot of people are naturally will skip ads and get to that number one position because they feel comfortable um, with the organic and they know what that is. It's not a paid ad. They think it's Google put them there for a reason. So number one position, I still think is really important. And yeah, the content on your website is still relevant and important.
Mhm.
And it's extremely easy to rank local contracting businesses, depending, I mean, where you are, but it's pretty easy to create content on the website that correlates with the Google business profile. So though you show up in the 3 reviews and show up in the bottom, it's still relevant today. Yep.
Yeah, oh yeah, I would absolutely agree that being getting to that number one spot on Google is completely relevant. You're one of the first people I've had on here that was like, "Oh, it's easy." Like,
Yeah. Well, dude, I'll tell you a lot of what's going on out there. Like, you hire an agency and they outsource it to, the Philippines. And, those people aren't really familiar with, especially in the trades within the United States. So they're creating content that's not relevant enough for Google to show it. So their SEO, I see it all the time. Unfortunately, companies hire us businesses to do SEO, and they don't know what they're doing. Um, I did SEO for some Fortune 100s for a little bit. Like I ranked Converse, one of the sneakers, for a while. Was a company out of Boston, and I found them. Did you ever hear the thing called Clubhouse? It
yeah,
was like it was a chat. Was like a it was
like
like
it's a audio meeting room.
yes. Yeah. So I was in there one day with a bunch of SEOs and people that actually do it for companies, enterprise level, like Fortune 100s and stuff. They're always spitballing on how to, rank on Google. Anyway, I was in one of those in a clubhouse room, and because I was always fascinated by it, and they're like, dude, people pay guys like you that know what you do. Because I used to build websites like the recipe site just to rank to make money off ads. So how do I get there? And long story short, I ended up in an agency in Boston that was, their biggest client was Coca-Cola. Like that kind of gave you the size of Group M. But anyway, um, dude, I don't even know where I was. I was going with that. But oh, it's so what in the industry, if you hadn't built something yourself as an SEO to rank on Google, we really didn't put you in the same bucket. Like you could say you did SEO, you worked at an agency, but unless you really built your own site, got it to rank and Google to show it, you really didn't know what you're doing. And unfortunately, a lot of agencies that build websites and do SEO, they don't know what they're doing. Yeah.
I I would agree with that. Like I said at the beginning, this is a very complicated like there's a lot of people that say this is what they do, and I believe there's a very small percentage that actually know what they're doing and are actually following through on this. This has recently come up with some people that I know where uh it's pretty crazy out there in the marketing and SEO word for construction, home services, the trades. There's a lot of wolves out there. There's a lot. It's very predatory, and
Yeah.
this is why I love having conversations with people like you, where it's we've been there, we've done this. This is like we know what we're doing. We're not just out here whipping up websites charging $5,000 a month. Like, see you later kind of deals.
Yeah. Like what's beautiful about our platform too is we make sure the website's in-house and a client can just have a website and a professional brand. Because there's a lot of the home builders and things like that, even 1 to 2 guy companies, especially home builders that are GCing everything or subbing it all out. Just having that professional website and brand is good for them. But then there's like plumbing companies that need a constant flow of leads, and that's easy for us. So we can do your SEO. If you decide you don't want to do it anymore, we still just maintain your brand and your business. You decide you got to run some ads, we can do paid ads, local service ads, that Google guarantee. So we run those for them too. So we're kind of an all one. You can come on, come off. But the guys that pay for SEO and they get in the number 1 spot, they just keep paying because that's the question too. They're like, well, how long I gotta do this? I said, well, I'll get you there and then you tell me. And then they're like, they just keep paying because it changes the game when you have a constant flow like that, organic, and they're not paying. But then some want to run paid ads as well. So they're double dipping. But you know,
Yep.
it, sorry, Ron, one thing I want to jump in there, but you said like you have to know what you're doing. But I can tell you, like, it's not the same for everybody. Like for my business, I'm not trying to rank for marketing agency because I got to compete with every SEO in the United States and abroad. So I'm trying to. I mean, I could probably win that game, but geez, it would be such a long time and tedious process. And once you get in there, it gets nasty because they'll they'll reverse SEO you, so they'll spam you with backlinks. They'll try to target you for Google to get you off. It's a whole game. So for me, it's video because a lot of agencies won't do video. So I'm winning in that for marketing. But yeah. Anyway.
I feel you, man, because I'm fighting the battle with construction project management software, and like it's a death valley of SEO and stuff. And we have stuff we do very well with, but it what you're saying is 100% true when you get into that. Like it really becomes hard.
Yeah. Do you so you're doing video.
Yeah, we do a lot of video as well because same thing as what you just said. Like our competitors won't, they're too old school. They don't think about it. I say they're too complacent to actually have to do what you need to do to get in front of your customers.
And I see that I think you're taking your podcast, putting it on your website as a post as well. So you're doing that as well, which is good.
Yes, yeah, we run them as every episode we turn into a blog as well, and then link the YouTube video and everything directly in there.
Do you guys use schema at all? Do you know what schema is?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's an SEO hack that will help the algorithm see your video, um, and it'd be in your Google business. I mean, your Google Search Console. It just will help you. Maybe I could tell you a little bit about it sometime.
Awesome, man. I love it. This has been a fantastic conversation here today. Before we go, being so you just get people to rank number one, what do you think is either the biggest misconception with that or the biggest missed opportunity that people just aren't aware of?
I'd say for, contractors, smaller companies, I mean, they could be home builders doing, multi-million dollars a year, but they still got like this old website that's a static page. Maybe it's not even mobile friendly. And they've been winning at the game. Like I'm in New Hampshire, so maybe they're still up on Winnipesaukee building beautiful homes on the lake, right? And they don't have that professional website. And I have conversations with these guys all the time. And where they could win is spend a little bit of money to have a professional website. So when Shirley goes and Googles them, because they all do, like a lot of them win off referrals, right? That's one of the biggest ways they make their business. But the game's changed because the generations coming up, they're gonna look you up. So they're not gonna just do the recommendation from someone else. They're going to look you up. And if you don't have a professional looking business or brand, it could really hurt you. And then some guys say, well, I don't need the work. But it's like, well, if you could have chose the $20 million cash build client that was great rather than something else, like there's just a huge opportunity to do marketing. And some guys don't get that.
Yeah, and you never know when 2008, 2020, any of that could possibly ever happen again. And brand and market presence has a lot to do with who survives as well.
Do you see a change, Ron, with your software or less like contractors looking for more work or a change in the market at all, or is it been the same?
No, I mean it's from what we're seeing, it's held steady. We've had a lot of turmoil, and I feel like we are on the rise. I don't think we'll ever go back to like COVID, post-COVID kind of numbers. And I think people aren't thinking like they're thinking like that's the norm, especially people that started out during that. And that's not necessarily the norm. I think we've really started to just go back to how it was. People that understand that they have a business, that know how to go out, run their business, do great customer service, they're busy. They still continue to have a backlog. It's not like I said, COVID, during COVID, post COVID, where things got a little bit crazy there for a while. I think with a lot of like the housing market, you still have a lot of people choosing to do renovations and do projects instead of buying a new house. And same thing with building. It's people are looking at the cost to build or buy and deciding that they can build for the same kind of money. And that's not how it used to be that building was always more expensive than buying a house. And in some cases, in some markets, it can be about a wash or close enough where it makes sense is we might as well just build what we want. So what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing is the turmoil has just kind of subsided where things are just back to normal for the first time in a long time.
That's cool.
How about yourself? What are you hearing?
Um, well, I'd say a little bit of both because I meet so many different people. Some of the smaller guys that are just starting out, or like they'll come to me and like I need leads, like where they didn't have something already set up. That's important too. So get your website up, get ready. So, and create content because you can't rank tomorrow
Mm.
organically. It could take 6, 9 months to get to that number one spot. So I'm seeing a little bit of both. Some guys growing, some guys not. I guess just a mixed bag like it always is. But
That's what I mean. It's just kind of we've just kind of levered back out to where the guys that are going to win are winning. The people that are going to survive are surviving, and then the people that are going to die are dying. Like it's just back to kind of the norm. But I think you brought up a really good point there when you said about guys coming to you about how they need leads. We're very reactive and not proactive. And I think that's what caused, I don't think, I know, I've been around this industry long enough to know that's what causes these hills and valleys in our businesses. Instead of being consistent, is because we're not proactive about it. Is you get them jobs coming in and it's like everything's great, it's fantastic, and you're not thinking about, oh, I need somebody like Bob to make sure I don't ever have this problem down the road. Instead, we go buy a brand new truck and then all of a sudden we don't have no work and we're like, what happened? And then we're reactive. Then Bob gets the phone call and it's like, I need leads. And it's like, well, you should have called me 6 months ago. You would have leads.
Right. Right. 100%, Ron. I agree. Like, I was that guy. So when I was building homes, I wasn't prepared for what came. Like, I didn't have any other sources of income. Now I have multiple sources. So if one thing falls, I'm getting paid another way, right? And I put I was only framing homes or building my specs. So I didn't have a book of clients or maybe a remodeling side of it. So when the homes weren't going, I could be doing ADUs or additions or, I don't know, even just roofs or something. I was just I was just like in one little bucket, not worrying about, what was coming down the road. And the old timers that I was building for, they had cash, they were building cash, they weren't leveraged. Um, they had already been to the show in the 80s, early 90s. So, yeah, 100%, you're right. You got to have like, be prepared. And on my end of it, the marketing side, the amount of money it costs to have a professional website, do some SEO, be ready. If you have to put on paid ads because you need something, you need more now. Maybe you took on a new guy or you're trying to grow your business. We also have a consulting side, Ron. So if you're a bigger company that has marketing in-house, but maybe you have, you hired a marketing person, they do your social media, you're paying them 60, 80 grand a year or something like that, but you're growing and you need a strategy on how to get to that next level. And then maybe that marketer you have is not a CMO or understands these steps. We offer that too, for the right business. So yeah, there's all kinds, man. It's fun. I'm having
Well, I can tell. I can tell you definitely enjoy what you do and you're great at it. For all the construction champions out there listening, if they wanted to connect with you, learn more about what you do, where's the best places for them to do that?
Thanks, Ron. Really easy. It's Contractors Partner, whether you're on YouTube or Google. I'm sure you'll have a link in the web a description or something. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm starting to put some content on there. Starting to put some content on Twitter, or X as they call it now. But it's all under that brand, right? Because brand is important. So Contractors Partner, that's where they can find me.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for taking the time and being on the show today.
Thank you, Ron, for having me on.
Awesome. All right, construction champions, another episode in the bag. Where I think as we closed it out there and we talked about the being prepared and ready instead of being reactive, like that is what the marketing, the brand, I think this is why businesses don't put enough emphasis on it when it becomes the lifeline and the way they can survive long term, is because it's something that it doesn't provide instant gratification. Who know, it might not provide anybody any gratification ever, other than it's just there and it does what it's supposed to do. Like a great website is sexy, but like in the grand scheme of things, it's not really like this thing that we're all toting around. Or, I always use the reference of a brand new truck because anybody goes to Lowe's, Home Depot, what do you see on the contractor side of things? A bunch of $150,000 trucks. Like for some reason, that is where we definitely invest our money. And there's nothing against that other than if you're not doing the stuff you should be doing, it's wrong. Like you have to make the investments in not just what's going to pay you today, but what is going to set your business up to continue to survive. We know that Google and SEO, it has been here. It's here to stay. AI is going to change how that operates somehow. No one really knows for sure. But that, from a Google perspective, that will always be like, that is the backbone of anything Google will ever build. Like, I just don't see a word where they're like, oh, yeah, everything we've done over here, scrap it. None of that matters. So, like, you have to be willing to build for today, build for tomorrow, and then also build for the long term future. And it's why having people like Bob in your corner that can help you with that or consult your company on that matters. Like, you guys, everybody, all of our listeners, you know, like, I am a component of having experts in your corner that can help you do where you fall short. So, construction champions, go be the champion you were meant to be.